All right, you all know the Great Commission, right? Okay. What about the First Commission? What's the First Commission? Anybody know the First Commission? Okay, it comes from Genesis 1. God created people and God blessed them. Genesis 1:27, God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them, and God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over every living thing that moves on the earth. That's the first commission. So how do you accomplish the first commission? It's my sense that the Great Commission is in many ways accomplished by the first commission. If we're going to go into all the world and preach the gospel, we cannot remove the first commission from that. And the first commission is for us to make families. And so today I thought we'd talk about that a little bit. I usually relegate this subject toward the end of my time, because if I don't, it sort of takes up the time that I've had devoted to other things. So in any case, the handout you have today is integrity in dating and courtship. And as we talk about this, things have changed dramatically in my lifetime, and we don't even know, what words are we supposed to use today? Is it dating? Is it courtship? Exactly what do we call it? And so I guess whatever term you use, we can talk about different terms along the way. But I'd just like to share with you some integrity in dating and courtship for men. First of all, maintain, and then for ladies. First of all, men, maintain absolute integrity in every way in your personal life. Submit to proper authority that God has placed over you. If you want to if you want to date, if you want to have a girlfriend, if you want to marry someday, what are some of the important aspects, okay? First of all, absolute integrity in your own life. And as we just were reading here in Chambers, we're not doing that to make ourselves perfect in the eyes of the world, or so everybody can look at us and say how great we are. But it must be done. We must make sure that we are submitting ourselves to God, submitting ourselves to the proper authority. Are you submitting yourselves to your parents, to church, in proper ways? There's authority. If you want to be a leader, you have to be a follower. If we want to be good leaders, we have to learn how to be followers. And that doesn't mean placing yourself under wrong authority. If there's wrong authority, you need to find the right authority under which to come with your life. But we must maintain absolute integrity personally, and then submit ourselves to people also who have integrity, who are over us. Okay, as you want to make a relationship with a young lady, give your heart and commitment to her before and without demanding that from her, because Christ gives himself for us and waits for us to respond to him. I think too many times young men are kind of requesting from this young lady that she would give her heart to them before they're quite ready to do that, before they're ready to make a commitment. I think it's really important that as we get into dating and we're looking to make a commitment with a young lady, that we are willing to make the commitment so that then she has the option if she wants to commit to us or not. It should be a gradual thing, of course, but we have to give her that because Jesus gives that to us. He has an absolute commitment to you. Do you believe that? Jesus has an absolute commitment to us, right, men? Okay? So, and we don't ever have to wonder if he loves us or not. We don't ever have to wonder if he's still there or not, okay? But he makes the commitment, and then he allows us to make the choice. And so Christ gives himself for us and waits for us to respond to him. Number 3, stand for truth. Be a real man. Take a biblical stand on issues. Really important. There are issues in life. We were visiting with some friends about an hour from here last evening, talking about issues in life today and so on. And, it's really important to be a godly man, right? Have we talked about that in this class? Okay. Be a godly man. Issues come up, take a position, say it's wrong when it's wrong. Stand there. Stand for truth. Be a real man. That's what the ladies are looking for. They really are. They're looking for a man who's going to stand with God, for truth. Take a biblical stand. This is what the Bible says. This is how I'm going to live. Number 4, keep your heart in the Scripture. Be sensitive to the Holy Spirit. I know it's exciting to be young and do all kinds of fun things and so on and so on. But, you've got to keep the foundation in there. And if you do, life will go well. Okay. I didn't say God won't give you any difficult times, because he probably will. Okay. Probably give you lots of difficult times. But keep your heart in the Word of God and be sensitive to the Holy Spirit. And when God's Spirit speaks, then listen, then obey. Okay? Be a spiritual and moral leader, especially in the dating relationship. Do not make her carry the conscience for behaviors during courtship. Many times this is what's happening today. The young men are asking the young lady to be the conscience for what they're going to do, where they're going to go. They'll do almost anything until she says this is wrong or she won't do that. No, that's not the right way to go about this, man. You need to know, you need to say, here's what we're going to do. And whether you explain that all to her or not, I'm not telling you how to do that. You can just have it in your own heart. You don't have to roll out a list of rules this long, but you can have those in your heart, in your mind. And here are things that I am not going to participate in. Here are places we're not going to go. We're not going to be doing these kinds of things. Make sure that you are the one who is carrying the conscience and the behaviors and not expecting her to do that. Okay, that is completely wrong to expect her to be kind of your conscience for behaviors. That's wrong. Okay, so don't do that. If you do that, how are you going to stop that once you get married? You won't. That will set the precedent. You are setting the precedent. You're setting the direction for your marriage when you're dating. And it's important she understands that. It's important you understand that. It's important you work together, as a team. But at the same time, it's important that you as a man are the leader, and make sure that you do it gently but firmly, and make sure that if she's in any kind of vulnerable position in any way, emotionally, spiritually, that you'll be the leader, you'll be strong, and give her the options of deciding whether or not you're the person, but also make sure that she can trust you at every moment. Okay, make choices. Don't do foolish things. If you say 10 o'clock, make it 10 o'clock, okay? If you say we're going here, then go there, okay? With some flexibility, but be the leader. Be a spiritual leader, be a moral leader, so she can absolutely trust you. And we'll talk about some of those things as we go along here. Number 6, share your vision with this young lady to see if it's a vision that you together are willing to follow. Are you? Lois and I are both interested in education. She went to college before we got married. She was teaching school before we got married. So we both had this interest in education. So as I tell people, marry somebody you love, but marry somebody you like, okay? So like I've told you before, I love all of you. I don't know if I like you or not, because I know that sounds strange, but if we're going to get along for a long period of time, we should hopefully like each other, right? The love of God in our hearts loves everybody. Of course, then there's a special love that we have for the person we're going to marry. But at the same time, we want to like that person. Okay? And we like that person. We agree on things. We cooperate. And so, we're willing to give each other space and time, because our goal has been education. Okay? Our goal has been Christian education. That's something that's been a goal for us. So share your vision. And make sure that you're thinking in terms of a vision that you're together willing to follow. And if you don't know what your vision is today, it's okay. God may reveal that to you later. But a really important part of getting to know someone with an interest in marriage is finding out if that person does have enough flexibility to be able to make adjustments in life. Can they do that? Or are they so fixed, okay? So I tell people, if you know you're always going to live in Alaska, probably don't be dating somebody who was always going to live in Florida, right? Find out some of these things before you get started, so that you know. And if you know God's called you to the mission field, and this other person knows that God's called them to milk cows, in Lancaster or something, and maybe find that out before we get so far down the road that we don't know what to do. Okay, so share your visions. Really important to have shared visions. Earn her trust before marriage. Earning trust after marriage is essentially impossible. Okay? You earn trust, men, with your future spouse before you're married. She learns to trust you. She knows you're a person of your word. She knows you're a person of integrity. She knows you're a morally upright person. You're providing trust for her, okay? And you're earning that trust. You're earning that trust before you get married. You're doing things with her that are inappropriate. Might be nice now, but someday you get married. Do you think she's going to trust you? Nope. She won't know what you're doing, okay? You earn that trust now, man. Right now, in your life now, in your dating relationship, you earn that trust. We earn it. I can't stress this too much. People who get married and they've broken trust before marriage, or they've lived inappropriately before marriage, and then they're trying to build trust. They're trying to get this wife to trust them. Almost impossible, okay? Almost impossible. And trust is so important in marriage. You think that's important? You want to be able to trust each other, okay? Do we talk about something about emotional constancy? Did we ever come across a term like that? So even when she's not there, even when he's not there, we're still connected, right? Okay. And that's trust. That's built on trust. So we want to make sure we develop that. Got to make sure, men. So you're developing that trust. Earn it after marriage. I'm not saying impossible, but I've been through too many of those things. Okay. Almost impossible to earn trust after marriage, because if you violated trust before, it's going to take a long time for her to learn to trust you. Number 8, guard her heart, her reputation, her character, and her honor. Sometimes she's going to be vulnerable. Protect her at those moments. The Bible says she's a weaker vessel. I think girls are typically very strong, but at the same time, God is expecting us as men to guard them during times of vulnerability. Sometimes there's emotional stresses, okay, that impact us too, but we're called on to be strong for them, okay? Times when they're vulnerable, make sure at that moment you protect and do not exploit. Make sure you protect. If you do that, if you are with a sister, your mother, we're talking specifically about dating with a young lady whom you love, and there's some level of vulnerability, some emotional stress or something, and you protect her at that moment, she will love you, okay? She will know she can trust you. So make sure you guard her heart. Don't be playing games with her heart. Don't be cagey about it. Be upfront. Make sure she understands where your heart is, what you have to say. Guard her heart, guard her reputation. Supposing you don't marry her, okay? You might not. And what about that? What about her character? Have you left her as clean and pure as you found her? Okay, that's really important. Until you're married, she's not yours. Okay, even after you're married, she's not completely yours. She still belongs to God, and she will give herself to you. But at the same time, it's really important that you're guarding her so that her character, her honor is just as clean as it was the first day you saw her. Protect her. Make sure that she feels protected, and she will know that you truly love her. Some time ago I asked us, well, how did you feel, when we were dating? And she said, I felt safe. I felt protected, So that's very important. Very important that is part of your relationship. Number 9, value her opinions. God can speak to you through her. So many times we don't realize that God does speak to us through the ladies, our mothers, our sisters, our girlfriends, our wives. That, God has placed much in their hearts, in their minds, and we need to learn from them, okay? That doesn't mean that we're going to always do exactly what they say, because we are the ones who are held responsible for the relationship. We're the ones held responsible for the marriage. We're the ones held responsible for the family. And someday God's going to require of me what happened to my family, more so than my wife. Okay, I really do believe that. But at the same time, I need to value her opinion. Dating, marriage, I need to know. How do you feel about this? What do you think about this? I ask her, and the longer we live together, the more we ask each other this, okay? And it's really important that you learn to do that early in your friendship. Value her opinions. Don't just say, oh, please stop that, okay? That doesn't work very well, right? If you shut somebody down, it's a long time till they'll talk again, right? So be really careful how you do that. Really careful. Value her opinions. But at the same time, realize that God has called you as the man to be the person who is responsible. Number 10, give her space to be herself. She's an individual created by God. She doesn't belong to you. She belongs to God, and she belongs to her Father. And so, or if she does not have a father living or functioning as a father, it's important that she's connected to a godly man as a father figure. So if you have a young lady in your life who does not have that, you should be helping her to find something like that so that she's not so vulnerable in a dating relationship, so that there's a godly man there, even if she is not aware of it. It's really important that happens. So give her space to be herself. She's a human being. She is a person God's made. There's a reason why she's who she is. And if you really love this person, then give them space. Don't think you ever own her heart. Hopefully she'll give you her heart, but it's really not yours, okay? It belongs to God. And as long as she's a daughter at home or she's not married, and I guess we could talk about what age that would be, but I'm not talking about that right now. She belongs to her dad. And I remember talking to young men dating, and, well, they want this girl to do this. They want this girl to do that. I said, well, what's her dad say? Is that important? Yeah, that's pretty important. Well, she doesn't belong to you. She belongs to her dad. Okay. And she's responsible, first of all, to her father. And then if you have some issue you want to talk about, talk to her dad about it. And at some point along the way, if her dad gives you the right then to marry her, then this transition starts happening. But initially, you respect her dad because this is the man whom God has given her to be responsible for her and for her to be responsible too. But remember, she's an individual. So many wives get shut down as individuals. You know this? They just can't be who they are because their husband just completely dominates them. You get some other situations where the wife completely dominates the husband too because she's not recognizing who he is and who God's made him to be. But make sure, if this is a person you really love, then this is a person you should honor and realize that she's a unique individual. Nobody else like her anywhere. So I think of a counseling situation now where a counselor was explaining, here this guy came in with his wife, and she's just this terrible person. They're sitting there, and she's this terrible person, and so the counselor listens a while. Then he finally says, "So why would you marry a girl like that?" And he says, "Well, she wasn't like that when I married her." What would the counselor say next? He said, "So you made her like that, right?" So he had this guy right in the corner. So, think about it, the impact you have on somebody's life, the impact they have on your life, and be careful. Think about that. Number 11, fall in love with her heart, not her body. Bodies are everywhere. Hearts are unique. Okay? How much more should I say about that? If you truly, truly love someone, you will be thinking in terms of who they are at heart. You won't be thinking in terms of their physical appearance. And I understand that you can't get completely past that because the first contact we have with anybody is going to be either our eyes see them or our ears hear them on the phone or something, right? So the first contact we're going to have with somebody is either visual or auditory. So, and there's going to be an impression. You can't escape that. But at the same time, we ought not be making those things the criteria by which we judge. But you develop a friendship with somebody, and over that time, and I'm really, really strong on this, developing friendships, develop a friendship with that person, and after a while, you start feeling connected to that person. oh, this person's a really fine person. And then I think it should go way beyond whatever color their hair is or whether they're tall or short or whatever, okay? And so the friendship goes beyond the appearance of the person because you've learned to know that person's heart. And you know the person's heart, that's the way you fall in love with somebody. And some people don't like this fall in love terms. If you want to fault my terms, you're welcome to do that. But, I think you grow in love with someone, especially you spend time with them, you work together, and after a while you start realizing, this person's a little different than other people. And then we love that person because of who they are, not because of something that's impressive about them physically, that we can walk down the street and we're so proud to have this beautiful young lady or this handsome man beside us and gets all of our attention. Just please stay away from that. People's hearts are very unique. Our bodies are really, I know they're not identical, but if you study medicine, you don't have to study everybody. You study one man and one woman, right? This is sort of pretty basic stuff here. So, so let's not be playing games with all this Hollywood trash that's all over the place, okay? So love is a gift from God. Accept it graciously and give it freely. Love, real love. We should be able to say we love everybody and, use those words very carefully, but at the same time, make sure it's for real. But then if God has brought to you a very specific individual, that love grows in a very unique way. And then between the two people, accept love graciously. And some people just cannot do this. So you're working with someone, living with, not married, but, working with someone in a dating relationship, and maybe this person, you just cannot receive love. Well, what's happening here? There's something going on. Are you able to give and freely receive love? Are they able to give and freely receive love? Many people really do struggle with this. And God has given us a capacity to love. That capacity needs to be developed by loving, by caring, but that capacity can be blunted by emotional injuries, by abuse, by pains in the heart, by fears. And if that capacity is blunted, you might want to give this person a little time to see if they can develop that. If they can't develop that, you might want to think real seriously about, how far this relationship can go, okay? Or you can be spending the rest of your life trying to develop that capacity for love in the person. Integrity in dating for women. Have your heart fixed on God, invest time in the Word. Is that important? It's important to me. I'm looking for a young lady, which I once did, that was pretty important. Is this somebody whose heart is right? Or are they always gadding about the latest fashion or whatever, or, where is this person's heart? Where is it? Are they dressing to get attention? That turned me off big time. Sometimes I reveal some of my specific dislikes along the way here, but if I saw a girl wearing heels, I would never. That was like a big X, Now I don't know what you call heels, if they're, like I'm out of my league here, okay? But just a little high on the back of a heel. That wasn't what I'm talking about, but like 2-inch, 3-inch heels, If I ever saw a girl wearing heels, that was the last time I ever thought about her as a possible somebody to date. I was just like, why would you do this? I have just, anyway, now you know a little bit about me, I guess, not that it matters at all anymore, but I just thought a girl who wore flat shoes and dressed neatly and plainly was beautiful. That got my attention quickly. Somebody who was trying to get attention, and I never forget, maybe this scarred me, but where we went to church, though, the floor was wood, it wasn't carpeted, right? And the wood floors are a little bit, can be slippery if you're wearing heels. And this lady went up the center aisle one morning and she slipped, okay? She was wearing heels and she slipped and fell. And I don't know how old I was. I might have been 12-ish or something like that. And I thought, you know what? That is the stupidest thing I've seen in my life. Hey, if you like heels, I still love you. I may not like you, but so if you want me to look the other way, wear heels, I guess. Number two, be respectful to the men in your life. Can you live in a way that's respectful to men? Eh, Even though, you don't have this guy in mind to date, you can still be respectful. You can still be kind. Uh, be respectful of your father, of your brothers, of your, you know, the people at church, the people in the youth group. Respect is huge, okay? Men really, really need respect. And women do too, but respect is critical, okay? Always be modest in dress and behavior. You can claim to be dressed modestly and behave immodestly, right? Everybody knows this. So don't put on a sham like that where, well, I have to have this dress because it's modest and then act in ways that aren't. I know it gets some people's attention, and if those are the people's attention you want to get, I guess that's the way you do it. But it didn't work with me, okay? I realize I'm not, probably anybody you're trying to impress, but hopefully there's some other godly men around here. Maintain absolute integrity in personal life. Once again, I haven't developed these as much as I have for the men because I'm lowering the boom on the men again today, as always. So, but for girls, maintain absolute integrity. We're seeing an increasing number of girls getting involved in pornography. Like, what is this? A couple of years ago here, I was talking to a young man about some of his struggles, or he was talking to me, and he said he borrowed his sister's laptop and was looking around on it, and she's got stuff on there. I'm thinking, what? A Mennonite girl wears a covering is doing this kind of stuff. Integrity is important, right? Keep your heart right. Keep it clean. Keep this trash out of your life. Don't be reading romance novels that give you crazy ideas. For years I did book sales and that sort of thing. And one was at a rest home, a Brethren rest home. And the books they brought out to sell was all this Harlequin romance stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And I said to the librarian, "Where do you get this?" She said, "This is what the old ladies want to read." I'm thinking, old ladies in a rest home are reading this stuff? And I'd like flip through them and I think, oh, please. So, integrity. These older people cannot even maintain integrity when their hair's gray and they can't even walk and they're reading this trash. So, start now to get the trash out of your life and keep it out. Absolute integrity, okay? Submission to authority, it's important. It's important we submit to godly authority. Be discreetly friendly without being inappropriate. You can be friendly with everyone. You don't have to. You don't have to be unfriendly to people. You don't have to be so friendly that you send the wrong messages. But you can be discreetly friendly with everyone. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that. Don't be inappropriate. I think you understand without a lot of explanation there. Number 7, require men to be honest and prove themselves. Don't just get flustered and caught up with some guy because he's got a 4-wheel drive pickup with 4-inch pipes going out both sides of the cab or something. I know it's cool and sounds whatever, but is this really what you want? Require men to be honest. Don't just get impressed because of the bulging biceps or whatever they've got here. But honesty is pretty important. Make them prove themselves. It's not wrong to do that. Is this guy okay? Well, don't give your heart to him until you know. Be friends, but don't give your heart to somebody unless you know this guy's okay. Make him prove himself. Okay. Wait till he does. Require it before you give your heart. It's very important. If these give you some reason to not trust him, there's probably a reason. Okay. So think real hard about that. Do not give your heart to every man who shows you attention. Easy to do that. Girls, I raised 3 daughters and married a long time, so I know girls are eager to have someone in their heart, eager to give their heart to someone. Well, okay, there'll be time for that. If God brings that to you, there'll be time for that. Don't give a piece of your heart to everybody who shows you attention, or there won't be much left of your heart when you finally do want to get married to somebody. So, reserve your heart. Just because a guy shows you attention doesn't mean, you got to fall head over heels for him. So think about it real seriously. Number 9, don't try to be his mother. There's a real tendency for girls, right? Every girl, I think, has a mothering instinct, and that's God given. But, guys who are looking for mothers are the wrong kinds of husbands, okay? Those aren't the kinds of guys that make up, the real husband material. And some guys do want to be treated like little boys. And so, you do that, and, you're probably going to hook this guy, but you're going to be his mom the rest of his life. Is that what you want? Do you want a little boy, or do you want a godly man? So, it's really important we think about that. Don't try to be his mother. That'll set you up to be his mother for all your life. And hopefully that's not what you want. We're looking for a friendship where we can mutually agree, mutually work together, mutually love each other, mutually care about each other. Not that, and Lois does not want me to call her mother, and I don't want to call her mother. Now, if in your home, parents call each other mother and father, I'm not complaining about that. It's just that we've decided not to do that. Okay? Even in the presence of our children, I still call her by her first name, and she calls me by my first name. It's a way of maintaining identity. The children all know who we are, okay? So if I'm speaking to one of my children, then I call her mother, okay? Mother said this. I don't call her Lois when I'm talking to one of the children, okay? But if the children are there and I want to talk to her, I address her as Lois, not as mother. So you don't want to be mother to your husband. You want to be mother to your children. And so you want to be mother to your children. You don't want to be mothering this man all the rest of your life. Number 10, guard your heart. Do not get involved in intimate conversations too soon. This is so easy to do. I've seen it happen here at Bible school. I don't pay much attention the last couple of years, but even in the public lounge, I might walk in and there's just a young man and a young lady in there, and they're talking in quiet tones. And after a while, I discover that they've been talking about some pretty intimate things, Is that a good idea? Well, if it's your sister, or your first cousin, there might be some reason for some of that kind of thing. But if it's a girl that you don't really know, no intentions of dating, this is really inappropriate. Or in the early stages of dating, just talking about intimate things with each other, really inappropriate. It's going to take you down the wrong road, okay? It's going to take you on an emotional high long before it's appropriate in the relationship. So be really careful. Guard your heart. Don't get involved in those intimate conversations so soon that now you really have built a bond with this person. It will build a bond with that man. Okay, really will. Even though you're not dating, you can still build an emotional bond by sharing all kinds of intimate things. And I just caution you: guard your heart. Don't get involved in those intimate conversations. And somebody tries to push you into a conversation like that, be really careful. Back off. You can change the tenor of the conversation. Number 11, relax and be yourself. Hopefully, in a relationship, it can come to that. It can become that, so that you can become your really relaxed self, where you no longer feel like you have to guard yourself all the time, because this man is trustworthy. He's going to guard you, going to protect you. You feel safe. You know it without a doubt. He's proven himself in situations, and you'll love that man. You really will. You will give your heart to that man. But don't do it before he's proved himself. Don't do it before he's proven himself and he has guarded you. Even if you start an intimate conversation and he realizes it's too soon, he won't allow you to do that. Okay? He won't push that. He won't be in there trying to get inside of your heart too soon. He won't be doing that. Okay? He'll be honoring you. He'll be respecting you. He'll be cautious. He'll be making sure that you are being protected. Okay? And then hopefully, eventually in the relationship, you can relax, be who you are, be safe, be cared for, be secure, not a question about it. Number 12, do not flirt. Be friendly, Be secure in who God made you to be in all your relationships. Uh, I don't think I have to explain what flirting means. I don't think that probably wouldn't be appropriate for me to be addressing that, at this point. But I think you know what I'm talking about. Be kind, be gentle, be friendly, be discreet, uh, but be secure in who God made you. When you find somebody flirting, they're typically not secure, and so they're out fishing for something. They're trying to get something coming back from the other person. They're trying to get noticed. They're trying to get some attention. And when you do that, you're just telegraphing your insecurity. You're sending a message you're really not secure. And so be secure in who God made you, okay? And be friendly, and you can, because you're guarded, you're cared for, you know you're secure, you know you're significant. You don't have to get that from somebody's attention, and so on.